sauce or Beurre blanc. Okay, it's an emulsified sauce. All right, and along with that sauce, I'm going to be cooking a filet of Copper River salmon. A little bit about sauces. You know, the word sauce, okay, comes from the root word salt. Okay, and sauces complement and contrast various types of food, such as grains, meats, vegetables, fruits, a myriad of ways to do a sauce. So here we have our mise en place, or ingredients for our pasta that we're going to be doing. Starting off with my pasta, I have 1 cup of filet pasta. It's not as thick as regular spaghetti and it's not as thin as angel hair. It's just right in the middle. I have it pre-cooked already. It's a little al dente. I'd like to undercook it because it will be thrown back in the saute pan and cooked a little longer, so I don't want to overcook it. Next we have our bowl of vegetables that I'm going to be cooking all together at the same time. On the left hand side here we have some fresh broccoli florets. Up top we have some nice string beans. The white down in the middle is going to be some sliced onion. The mushrooms, we have some cremini mushrooms, and right under the mushrooms in between the broccoli we have some fresh chopped garlic. To finish the pasta, I'm going to add a little bit of fresh diced tomato. We have our mise en place right here. Like I said earlier, I have some sliced shallots, some parsley stems, some peppercorns. I have black, green, white, and red. Okay, if all you have is black, that's fine as well. Alright, so first off, I'm going to start off with the peppercorns in the pan. What that does is it kind of heats them up, roasts them, toasts them, brings out the flavor as just rather than throwing them in cold. After that, I'm going to throw in about 2 teaspoons of oil. I'm using grapeseed oil. If you have any other type of oil, please feel free to use what you have in house. Next, I'm going to be throwing in my sliced shallots. I have 1 shallot. So I had my pan on. I got everything going in there. Just going to give everything a stir. Alright. You can smell this right now. I have a real strong aroma of the black peppercorns and the little bit of garlic coming out as well. And then we also have the shallots. Okay. Next, the juice of half a lemon. Okay, now if you don't have any lemon and you have vinegar, that's fine. What we're looking for here is acid. Okay, to add a little tang to this sauce. Okay, to kind of spice it up. If you're just having, you know, your butter in it and your wine, you have sweet and creamy, but you want some acid to kind of bring out some of the flavor. Alright, so I got the juice of my 1 lemon in there. I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat up. I was up medium, now I'm going to turn it up to high. I'm going to add my 1 cup of Chardonnay. Any sort of white wine for a white wine butter sauce will work fine with you. I prefer Chardonnay to work with, so here we go. 1 cup of white wine. Alright, we're going to bring this to a boil. Now once this comes to a boil, I'm going to lower the heat down a little bit, probably to about 3/4 high, and then we're going to reduce it all the way down. And what we get when we reduce it all the way down is a term called a sec. So it's not completely evaporated, it's almost like you have a thin syrup. I'll go ahead and give you a shot of that once we get there. So I'm going to wait for this to boil and we'll be back in just a moment. Alright here, so time has elapsed. It's been about 10 to 12 minutes. As you can see here, our reduction is reducing. I'm just about there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn it low while I start my other processes of cooking. Alright, so I'm going to start off with my pasta. We have broccoli, sliced onion, some fresh green beans, cremini mushrooms, and garlic. Alright, I have this on. I got a little smoke. I have about a tablespoon of oil. Here we go. Sizzle, 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 sizzle. Alright. Got all these rocking now with the pan on and very warm, you know, I want to keep everything moving here. Now some people say, well, you're throwing in raw broccoli. The steam from the other vegetables are going to give the broccoli what we're looking for here, which is going to be a sort of cooked and saute, you know. It's not going to be very soft like it is when you boil it. and it's not going to be too al dente. I like my vegetables, especially my green vegetables, a little undercooked because, you know, if you overcook them, you're going to cook out all the nutrients and all the precious things that your body needs to absorb. Alright, so I have these going. I turn this down a little bit. Okay, so I have all my vegetables sauteing here. I'm going to get my salmon ready to go. The salmon I'm using today is a Copper River salmon. It's a wild salmon. If you take a look at the color here, it's a lot deeper in red than your basic Pacific or Atlantic farm-raised salmon. Also, if you notice, the fillets are a lot thinner and smaller in size. Alright, these fish are fighting to live every day, so they're not going to be as big, as plump as your basic farm-raised salmon. Okay, I just have a little bit of salt. I do have the skin on. I'm going to start with the skin side down. I'm going to turn I have my pan on like a low heat, so I'm going to turn it all the way up too high. For my drop of water, you know it's ready to go, so. My first fillet is my second fillet. So, got our vegetables going. I'm going to throw my tomatoes in now. I didn't throw them in at first because I didn't want them to break down completely. I still wanted them to maintain their shape after they're cut up. If you can look at my reduction right here, it's pretty much reduced. Now this is what we want. I started off with a cup of white wine. I have maybe less than a fifth of a cup. Okay, maybe I have about half an ounce left here. This is pretty much what we're looking for. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the parsley stems out of here. Okay, just throw these away. Also keep in mind with the thin fillets of salmon, they're not going to take that long to cook. Our pasta here. Okay, so I turn this on high. My butter is nice and cold. You don't want it room temperature because it'll break too fast. And what we want to do is emulsify this. We want to bind together the fats and the non-fats, which will be our wine reduction. Okay, so what to do with that is you want to keep your pan constantly moving. Emulsified sauces are very unstable. If they're too hot, they will break, and if they're not hot enough, they will break. And if they are too cold, they will actually solidify, depending on what sort of fat you are using to make the dish. And last but not least, our Beurre Blanc or white wine butter sauce. Now, you have the wine, you have the butter, you have a little bit of lemon for acid. It's just really going to complement the salmon very nicely. I'm also going to throw a small spoonful on top of the pasta as well. Alright, so there it is, the proper way to make a white wine butter sauce or Beurre Blanc. I will have another show up in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time on Cooking with Killer. Thank you.